Oh, yes.
Where's the agenda?
Are you on the Teams?
Yes.
Yeah, it should be there. And
Okay, so we have some of you guys on the agenda. These are the ones that have been approved by the board of directors. Others are still gonna next week.
yeah,
hopefully.
exactly.
So if your name is not on there, it'll be next week.
Yeah, this is just for official reasons, but all of you can be here today and just like talk.
Frederick is on his way up.
There he is.
So
Yeah, okay.
we can start with a little bit of introductions, I think. Oh, Venom's there.
I wish I had a gavel. Hold on. Yeah, so technically we do have an agenda, but until like we have official business, we're not really gonna be official with our parliamentary procedure or anything like that. But yeah. Okay, I call this meeting to order at 5:04 p.m. So, our land acknowledgement. The ASUW acknowledges the stewards of Coast Salish lands and the lands on which we currently sit and the UW occupies. We acknowledge the original and current caretakers, Duwamish, Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations and peoples. So, roll call. Ria?
Okay, Operations Coach Ryan present. Francisco, Outreach Coach is present. Operations Intern Jake Demari, present. Outreach Intern Hallie, present. Visual Design Intern Chloe Lewis, present. Web Content Intern Brandon, present. Volunteer Stella, present. Volunteer Ethan Bloom, present. Volunteer Jonathan, present. And the rest we're gonna add you guys.
Yes.
And Director of Internal Policy Zoe.
Oh, no worries. No, you go ahead. You have a nice day.
Present, and the advisor Brandon present. And yeah. that's
Wonderful.
it.
Yeah, so that's how we'll largely start the meetings, every meeting. So yeah, well, again, we'll add you guys who aren't on the agenda for next time. So yeah. So now it's a period of announcements and public forum. These usually last, not usually, but there's a set limit of like 10 minutes. So this is when like people from the public or just any of you who want to announce anything to the committee itself. But yeah, as we said earlier, like we do have the King County elections tour. The RSVP closes today. So if you guys do want to attend the vote counting tour that's on November 8th, then you guys should do that now. It should be in the Teams. We can also link it right now.
Yes, and it's free, so you don't have to do anything, just show up, just fill out the RSVP by today. If you guys are interested, and I'm always there if you guys have any other questions about that. Any questions as of now? Okay, sounds perfect. I'll send it in the Teams. Are you sending it?
I'll link it right here, but you can also send in the Teams again.
I'll do that once I have anyone else in.
There you go. It should also be there now too. Okay, does anyone want to say anything or announce anything or have any questions? Okay, wonderful. So now we just got to approve the agenda. And so the way we do that is someone says, I move to approve the agenda, and then someone says, I second. So
I can go. I move to approve the agenda. Are you 1 second?
we have a motion to approve the agenda. Are there any seconds?
I'll second it.
We have a second from Sid. Are there any objections? Hearing none, we shall consider that motion with unanimous consent. So we don't have any minutes to approve, and we have nothing in our consent agenda, so we shall move on to our new business, which we have our preliminary report, the 2025 elections policies and procedures, and the 2024 ticket and electoral reform report. But I think we'll focus on the EPP for our first business. So Sophia, do you want to explain the PPP again? EPP again?
Okay, awesome. Hey everyone, so the EPP is basically the elections policies and procedures document. It kind of lays like in layman terms, kind of just like policies and rules and like regulations of the election of the next board of directors. So we just have like different sections, as you can see, like what it means to like fair campaign, candidacy, like deadlines and stuff, like when that would happen, so kind of like an overview of that. So we have introduced that to the judicial committee. So we have our first meeting on Monday, and we're gonna hope it gets passed. But we just wanna have like a vote, kind of like a voting here and like make you go through it. So does anyone have any questions before we get into the document? Okay, awesome. If you have questions, just raise your hand. It's fine. Like, I'm not gonna bite.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot of stuff to put in
Yeah.
at the first meeting, so any questions would be great.
Awesome. So, okay, awesome. I don't think we're gonna go over the.
We're not gonna really touch it,
Yes.
because
okay.
we've largely done this work over the summer and like during these first few weeks of the quarter, and like likely next year we'll like include the committee more in this process, but for right now it's like largely completed and has already been sent to the judicial committee, but like right now we're just gonna ask you guys to like approve the documents yourself.
Okay, I think let's just go through the amendments that we made this year. That just is more helpful. Okay, awesome. So this is kind of like this is kind of the dates that are really important, especially as like an intern and a volunteer. Like these dates, I think I know it seems a lot, and trust me, we know. And that sometimes, like most of these, I think your availability would matter. So just make sure that you kind of like block it, especially like the ethics seminar, the elections info forum, the election itself, and like especially operations that would be handling the candidacy filings and like financial disclosure. So if you're an operations intern or working with me in operations, this is like a very key deadline because that will be working. And then there's like the voting period. You'll be working with Francisco a lot for like outreach of the elections and everything. So just like keep those dates in mind. I'll send this document over tonight. And so you guys have access to that. Any questions before we move on? Okay, awesome. And so this year we're introducing a new position, chief judge.
Yes.
So we have a judicial committee, so that person will be presiding over that. So we have that, something that we amended. And what else did we amend? I think the main was just like the community service.
Yes, we changed out the community service policy, which is a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
So last year, we instituted a maximum cap of 20 community service hours, like
Yes.
in total. So like a candidate can receive more than that if they were in violation and had complaints against them in the judicial committee. So this year, we're recommending that we change the complaint on the violation process so that if you get more than 30 hours of community service, you are disqualified from
Yes.
candidacy. So like there isn't a maximum amount of hours, but more so like if you get over 30 hours, you're disqualified from entering into office.
Yes, so that is a big thing, and that's something that we would have to discuss with judicial about, because it is a little bit harder to like pass it through, especially like with judicial and board of directors. I can help you go through the violation in itself. So we have 3 categories: minor, major, and severe. Minor violations include like campaigning except for when it involves an employee of SAO, ASUW, or University of Washington, placing campaign advertisements on light poles, and campaigning in or near the hub or ASUW office, since it's a violation. And if you do not rectify it within 24 hours, you will be sentenced, and if you're found guilty of it, you'll be sentenced like 1 to 3 hours of community service by the judicial committee. Second is the major. It is basically campaign finance if you're not able to make the ethics seminar and without prior notice, and just like not obeying with the campaigning rules that the EBB sets. Then you're given 3 to 8 hours of community service if found guilty during by the judicial committee. And severe is basically seeking endorsements prior to the campaign start date, violating any applicable law, tampering or altering any election material or ballot. And I think this is also severe if you like put advertisement materials on bus stops, since that is a city property.
Yeah.
So it is a severe violation. And if you're found guilty of that, and if you don't rectify it, it can be a pretty big deal.
So yeah, just make sure candidates don't break city or state laws.
Yes, that is very important. So yeah, and this year something that we introduced was basically that if you're found guilty of violating, like for minor violations, if you make the same mistake without rectifying it in the first 24 hours, it would immediately turn into a major violation. So you would get more community service hours. This is just kept because last year we had a lot of complaints and that kind of got out of hand. So this time we wanted to be a little more strict and just keep it in check so that the election is more fair to the candidates and to the student body.
So in the event that you have three
Three minor
minor
violations and two major
violations.
violations.
if you're found to be in violation of those complaints, then the judicial committee has the option to compound them into one major complaint, and then if you have two major complaints that are found to be in violation, then they become a severe complaint.
Yes. That was one of the biggest amendments we made in this year's EPP. Any questions on that? Because I know like there's complaint, there's a judicial process, it seems a lot, but it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. Like I'm new to this role, so I get it too. Any questions or any comments that you guys have? Okay, awesome. Anything else that we changed?
Not necessarily. We just complaints procedures the same. We added a section about subcommittees because that
Yes.
they don't technically exist, and we're trying to formalize them this year. That's why we have 4 of them, and they're defined there. And we'll assign you guys to whichever subcommittee most interests you. So like, there's the definition and description of them. So
Yes, I can go through it since that is the second half of our meeting. So it kind of gives you guys like a chance to like read through it and like figure out which one do you guys want to be part of. So the first is polling and survey. It is basically writing in the distribution of official polls and surveys to the student body for the ASU to better gauge and understand student interest and issues. This happens every quarter. We have like put out a quarterly report and also a quarterly survey. So that is something that you do per quarter. Second is ballot promotions. By the way, polling and survey, you're gonna work with Francisco. He's gonna head that subcommittee. For ballot promotion, it is focusing on reaching out to the student body and student-led groups to promote candidacy and ballot measure opportunities to ensure diversity of options on the ballot. That is something that I would head. It seems very like legislative and like bureaucratic, but it's not that. It's okay. I'll make it more interesting. Then the third is voter engagement. It is working with ASCW entities to advertise prior and during the campaign election period, just like helping sure that the word of the election goes out to the student body. That is something that Francisco would head as an outreach co-chair. And lastly, we have campaign and elections. It is organized the ESC operations during the campaign and election period, largely consisting of forum planning, selecting locations for polling booths and their setup, preparing ESC violation complaints for the judicial committee hearing, and the writing of reports. So there's a lot of like outreach, bureaucratic, legislating, and I would head that. So I can just have this on for like the next minute so you guys can read through it on your own time, and then we can like discuss which committee do you guys want to be part of after we approve this EPP. That's okay? Sounds perfect. Hopefully you guys can see it. So if you guys have any questions about the EPP, just let us know. Like it could be, I think we would really love if you guys ask questions since we have to present it to the judicial committee on Monday. So it's always a good practice to like kind of like defend why we wrote what we wrote. So if you have any questions, it's okay.
yeah, of course. But yeah, continue looking over that in your own time because we can all like switch around commit subcommittees like throughout the meeting, but because we all want to like have dialogue about how we can best engage with students and promote the elections. But I think when you select a subcommittee, that's largely well you'll be working for the year. So yeah, any questions about the EPP? Wonderful. Okay, so on to the preliminary report. This is something that we're starting this year, which largely details our plans for the EAC this year, our promotion and general conduct of work for the year. We'll have a final report at the end of the year, but this was just to like jot down all of our notes, essentially, besides the other document that we can go on discussing later. But yeah, there's our purpose and questions, like why is this report here? Like what's the purpose and all of that. I can read the questions out, like when was the EAC established and what's its history? How has voter turnout compared to previous years? What are the strategies that can be used to increase voter turnout? What reforms to the electoral system are recommended to improve student confidence? And what is the purpose of the elections branch? Because under the 2025 Constitution that was adopted, the EAC is going to become its own branch of the ACW, like the Senate or the Board of Directors. So we'll have the elections administration board rather than committee. So we'll be in charge of generally promoting the elections, of course, but largely be more independent and have a greater capacity to like engage with students on campus. So yeah, section 2 is our history. We did some research into that. Like it's kind of difficult figuring out exactly when we were founded, and our records are a bit spotty on that. But again, this hopefully gives some students and all of you guys some background into the EAC. Operations, this kind of details like each of our positions, like general work that we want to do, focus on this year. So we have operations strategies like the EPP, figuring out how we form the elections administration board in the bylaws for this year once we adopt them, because we need to reform the bylaws in order to be up to date with the new constitution, but that's a discussion that doesn't necessarily need to be here. The EPP and passing it to the judicial committee, and of course the bylaws again. My work outreach was just to create more and attended forums, like we have already the Living Communities Forum, where I'm already in talks to creating the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Forum. We're continuing our work with OMAD, the Q Center and the D Center, and like reaching out to more student groups to increase participation in that forum. We're establishing the Public Promotions Campaign, which is linked in the committee resources at the bottom of the agenda. And like largely it's kind of like a ideas map where we just put things down on there and see what sticks so we can have greater outreach and voter engagement for the year. So there's a lot of things like our calendar, just generally, our forum ideas. It's just toying around, seeing, so all of you can like add on to it, but as it says, just don't share it because like this will have a lot of internal work that we want to make sure that stays within committee, because like until it's actually a thing, it's not going to happen, and we don't want to like get the public's expectations up. So besides that, that's something that we're going to be conducting on the outreach side. And then, of course, starting to conduct our quarterly student surveys, because this, again, is something that is new to the committee and to ASUW. And so that's what we're trying to get done. So the timeline's there. This generally lays out what we're going to do throughout the year. And then something we're also introducing is the Student Democracy Index, which, because we can't necessarily focus on student turnout to say like ASUW is being accountable or being conducted in a representative way, we got to focus on other metrics that showcase ACW's accountability and overall democracy towards students. So that's something we'll develop a little further down the line, but that's also in there and states the basis of it. And then our general objectives and goals. Our conclusion, the general research that we've done. So our goal, our voter outreach turnout goal for this year is 10% with a reach of 12%, because last year we had 7%. So the work and initiatives that we do for this year is to get students to turn out to vote for that goal of 10%. And so I think we generally agree that's a very achievable goal to reach. Then here are the general recommendations. So passing the EPP by Thanksgiving, we had difficulties with that last year because of volunteer applications and such, but since it's already in judicial committee, we'll likely have it by then. Outlining our ticket and electoral reform act. That's something I'll discuss like after this. Then some other things. And then all these opinions are for you guys to lay out and write based on what you guys generally think, and that can be done in your own time. So yeah, that was stuff. Any questions on that?
Okay, awesome. I know we just kind of like threw a lot of information on you guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back at 5:30 and then we're gonna discuss committee assignments, like subcommittee assignments, and like let's just like take a break. Before we do that, just like unofficial, I wanna have like a bonding intern volunteer thing. So I was thinking if you guys are interested in that, I can host you guys on standard with some food and stuff. If you guys are, can you raise your hand? It's okay. It's okay. I will not judge if you don't. Yes, I would. So if you guys are interested, can you raise your hand so I know if you guys are? Okay, sounds cool. Okay, I'll let you guys know when that happens. Hopefully after my midterms, but because I just want to make it a fun committee. I know EAC is a lot of bureaucratic. I know that's my job, but I also want to make it fun so you guys also like it and like actually make friends and like network with people. Since you're gonna network with like meet a lot of people in the ASU, the body itself. OGR is a really good example, like Office of Government Relations. We work closely with them since they kind of work with like lobbying on the Huskies on the Hill in Olympia last year. And that's why like kind of get like a lot of great opportunities. So I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna like just chill for like 2 minutes. I don't cannot see the time actually. 7 minutes. So get some food if you guys want to talk.
Yeah, snacks.
Just like more questions and like just chill with each other, go ahead. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss the subcommittee assignments. I just talked to I think of this on the office.
Oh,
So
cool.
hopefully you're gonna get a good reaction.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty soft, so. Yeah. Just get the track. Let me know any questions. We have these okay, we have to see this news channel. Okay. If you guys want to just RSVP for the form for the Teams Channel election, if you guys are free, I will post that on the Teams channel. Yes, you do. I think that's just
I'm trying to think I would. Yeah. Okay.
It's less device. I really could just. It is our opinion that we will.
it should be.
Right, it doesn't mean to change the policy,
That's fair.
but it can be used to be like, hey, like stupid thing. You know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You want something that is more clear cut.
Also, the Hub's 75th birthday is at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in me and Princess, I can go like for 20 minutes. They have some free desserts and like there's a lot of stuff. If you guys want to come. Okay, awesome. I actually sent the RCP form, so can you just fill it just in case if they check it? It's on Teams channel. Kind of also gives you a good incentive because I will keep on posting if ASUW is having like a lot of events. There's OGR's legislative reception as well on November 20th. They're going to introduce a legislative agenda that they have for this year with the graduate student government, the ASUW. They have food and stuff. So if you guys want to do that, I'll send that on the team so you guys can also use for that. I'm going to be there. Francisco is going to be there. And they have actually really cool speakers. And for this year, we have, thanks to Francisco, we hopefully have, who do we have? Secretary of State.
Yes, the Secretary of State, Steve Hobbs, will hopefully be speaking at the election ceremony when we announce.
The next
results
board of
of-
directors. So that's pretty fun. We're gonna hopefully book the Lyceum and have fun. So yeah. Okay, so we have subcommittees.
Yeah,
Let's wait for like 2 more minutes. Let me just post the RCP.
Has it cost you?
Or is this just renewing?
I don't know if we're doing it now. Just because you are
Francisco. Are you gonna be- do you want me to be part of this? Oh, you will wait.
What a collaboration it is.
Yeah. Come yeah.
That's what I messaged them.
We have stuff. Also, we need to change their names on our ballots as well.
We get the chapters and each door.
Thank you so much.
Hi, how's it going?
I want to get my sister's
I saw you on the fourth book. I'm gonna be curious.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I know that. I said,
Yeah, send me
How you been?
you can send me the list to
I'm really good. How are you? Are you?
the
Oh, for the legislative side?
yes.
Great. I'm pretty well. I
Um,
don't know. I think they
On
like.
Teams.
Because of the change.
It might be on-
It's on the Instagram.
yeah, okay, I'll just do that on my phone then.
And then someone else that recall and you got to take recall. So I think the Spanish department.
Yeah. If it makes me skip the class.
Well, for me, it's like I needed both on my plan. Let's go.
Yeah, no, it's a public meeting.
I might have a meeting with.
Either way, year 11, even if you don't have to take it, I recommend it. It's film and literature,
Oh, it
and
is?
it's so good. You watch one really good
Yeah.
stuff.
It's-
Hello.
It's literature,
Hello.
12, the year 1200 to 1800.
I have to take that
I
sometime.
did dance. It's just-
Can you send me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure she will.
Also, after this, we have like a tour of our office and the executive office if you guys are interested. I want to see how we do work. So, like when we have office hours, you can just come and hang out and work with us. So I'll see that. Also, I posted the link RCP forms for the King County and the OSU legislative agenda. So, if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm here for the training.
It's in there.
Oh, okay. Alright. Thank
Like,
you.
Yeah,
Hey, awesome. We should start.
yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your snacks. So we're okay. So reviewing the subcommittee assignments, I guess we can just discuss like which ones do you guys want to be in?
Yeah, we could start. I think hopefully you guys know what subcommittee you guys want to be in.
Yeah.
Also, those are volunteers. I think it will just be helpful for me to understand if you guys want to be more involved in outreach or in operations, just so that I can help you like delegate tasks more better depending on your interests. And I won't hate you if you don't choose operations. Trust me, it's okay. I went through that during the interview.
Operations is also fun. Like you reach, it's okay. Think of outreach is more focused on reaching out to other student groups that are outside of the AAC-Dub, and operations is really just maintaining the work that EAC has already done, and especially towards AAC-Dub things.
Yeah.
We is going to focus on the bureaucratic stuff because again, it's boring to some people.
No.
But again, like these first couple meetings are kind of like managerial and
Yeah.
bureaucratic. We're here to approve a couple of things, but largely by like 2 weeks, like
Yeah.
we're gonna talk more about engagement and all those things. So bear with us for these couple of meetings.
We have like voter incentive plans, we have a lot of phones coming up, so that's where you guys would be really helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so who wants to first say which committee you guys want to be in? Yes, Alex. Impossible ballots. Okay, awesome. Yes.
Campaign and election.
Okay,
Polling?
polling, sorry. Anyone else wants to come?
Yeah, so is it just for volunteers or is it
Well,
also for?
interns and volunteers vote.
Okay, so what would you say is like a more
Sorry,
social?
what was your
Voter
name?
engagement.
That would be
Sorry.
engagement.
What was
I
your name?
think
Ethan?
Sorry.
Francisco, voter engagement is gonna be the most social way. Or
Yes, that's
campaign election.
campaign elections is like planning a bunch of
Okay.
events. So I think voting because that comes up with a lot of ideas to like get students involved.
and you'll be tabling maybe and like all those stuff, so that would be more social to just like.
So
go
Ethan,
out
what
there
committee
and-
were you?
So campaigns.
What committee were you?
Ballot. Sorry, polling.
Polling. A campaign's the most social, you said?
No, voter engagement.
Alright, then I'll be that one.
Okay,
Do
so
voter
voter
engagement.
engagement. Voter engagement. Yeah, which one? Sounds good. We have voter engagement. Stella? Sounds good. Okay. Do we have anyone in ballot promotion?
Hallie.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah,
Campaign.
I was like, okay, we just have at least one. Okay, also, the volunteers, you guys, tell me your preferences, if you guys want to work with outreach or operations more, just because it helps me delegate tasks better.
I think for me, like both would be fine,
Both would be
whatever you need me to do.
Okay, Jonathan? Both? Yeah? So? Do you want to be more involved in operations or outreach? Okay,
Sorry, actually, I'll go with the outreach.
Jonathan, outreach and still operations?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. You guys want to just like divide ourselves into groups?
We still got to get in there. We have to, because then we can talk about that after. Do you want to do that now?
Sure.
Okay, so. Okay, I trust you.
It's okay,
So, yeah, we'll break out into our subcommittees so we can talk. So, yeah,
yeah, so polling and survey,
yeah,
you can just,
we're just, I'll be over here.
Yeah.
If you're in polling and survey and
voting,
voter engagement, be on this side, and then
ballot
can see you.
and campaign election, I'm just sitting here. So you guys can just like get your chairs and we can just hop on it. I'm bringing my shoes. Get as many as you want, guys. And next time, let me know what you guys want as prefer for snacks. I'll just get that. These are cards. Right, they make it.
Yeah, okay, I just see that you wrote out.
Yeah.
Definitely talking to you
Also,
guys
did you
rather than.
send the email to? Did you send the email the board?
Not yet. Like the ones that passed yesterday.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Hi, how you doing?
Look, guys, I think
Before we
this
talk
would be a good
about
space
committee,
to-
any input on how you
yeah,
want these
yeah,
meetings to
Francisco.
be conducted, because
Going
since
out.
this was a long, like legislative
So,
bureaucratic
I've
stuff.
been in HCW.
So
This is my
if you
fourth
guys
year
have
now,
any
so
input on how you want these meetings to be conducted,
But,
we're kind of there here for you and. we'll
hopefully you
sort
guys
out
enjoy
feedback,
your
Because I
time
want
at
you guys to have
EAC
fun in this
because, yeah,
committee,
it's kind
because
of
that would happen.
pitfall at the moment, but
So,
hopefully
any
this is
input?
the space where we begin talking about.
This is a
like,
super
you guys'
tiny thing, and I know
ideas
we
about
like
how
hold locations by
we as
having
the
like
coaches
tables
can develop
in front of us, I
things
think.
and
Yes,
kind of
that's
turn out
because
to
we
go.
usually book student research, and that is a conference room, so then we have
Perfect.
tables.
I can go first. My name is Sid. I'm a third year.
Yeah, I know, I feel.
No worries, just like something to set
Yes,
ourselves.
yes, I feel that. so much.
I like some black, stuff like that. I think that'll be nice. So I'm on the side.
Okay, guys, like this. I'm sorry, I just want to tell you guys. Okay, so I'll first go to the cabinet elections and how it's gonna be like. You were part of last year's cabinet elections, you wanna talk about your input and I'll talk about mine?
Yeah, I wasn't really like to volunteer.
I was
so
more
like,
just-
maybe help out.
Well, I had a friend last year who was running for the board of directors, and I kind of staked my way in there, just like trying to help them like promote their campaign. So I kind of learned from an outside perspective what it was like to run a campaign, and it's much more complicated than I really thought. I thought you just like tabled and did like just talk to students like form, but like it's much more than that. And seeing just what it took to run that campaign, I feel like it's something I really want to
So,
just
a lot of the
venture out and do,
ideas
because I
are within
do wanna
the local college,
pursue
the
something
promotion
like,
campaign. Like,
something with just
like naming things of
public
not
relations.
just the joke
So I
things,
feel
but
like
PP
for me, being a part of the campaign election,
PPC for sure.
so
So
for me,
that's
it'd be
where
really
again, like a
beneficial.
lot of us will be.
But last
able to
year,
provide
it
ideas, like, jotting
was
them down.
just a lot of
There's a
just,
couple of things, there's a lot of things already on that which we can develop further. you have like election skits in mind, so like just generally
There's a lot of
informing students of like the elections and the ACW in general, that's
technicalities
reels
that
and,
were
like
not what I was
videos in general,
expecting for
like to
like
inform them,
a
if that's something
college
like we wanna like start producing.
election, which is
Think about
Yeah,
how to write them.
Definitely, like,
Yeah.
So
I
that's something I
took
definitely
all
wanna
this
work with you
role,
guys
I was
about.
being
is
ambassador
getting
for,
notifications
and I went through all the documents, I was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, there's so
Besides
much
that,
bureaucracy
it's
that goes
also
into it,
just
and cabinet
even
election
from
is
the
one of
beginning,
those, like,
we'll do
there are
that
gonna
throughout
be
the
like
4 week
so
election
many
period,
forums
but
we're gonna
yeah,
have every
figure out
district.
that as
Like,
well.
we have the Q Center, we have the D Center, we have the ECC, we're
Do
gonna
any
we
of
have
you have, like,
presidential debate. So
Coming in
this
here,
year
have
we're
ideas
gonna
on how
have
we can
the open
reach out to
book red
students.
square, and we're gonna have like
ACW
a ASU wide community
I
fair
feel
kind
like
of
more
stuff, and like
events
get
are
all the
definitely,
entities
like,
there,
the way to
that's
go.
when we're gonna have the
And these,
presidential
obviously,
debate.
these
Uh,
events
so
also need to
Just
be
like managing all that,
advertised,
making
so I
sure
guess
it goes well, it's
also
kind of our
creates,
duty and kind of yours as well.
Sort of,
So that includes like a lot of cafe.
but I would definitely say like more
Subcommittee, just
sports
making sure that
events,
everything
but
goes
more.
well, we have all our bookings
I definitely
ready.
would
Because just yesterday
Yeah,
I
and
was
that's
a
some work we
campaign
can do
ethics
with
seminar,
our
just basically we have
Office
like
of
a
Arts and
with all the
Entertainment, which like
candidates like
largely, they
file
did the fall
about
thing,
what it
and
like follow
they
the
did the spring show,
don't
they do the spring
just make sure
show,
you
and
don't
they
break
did
any
that
rules, they're gonna break the
interview
rules,
thing
but
with
just make sure that they don't.
the Outer Banks.
So that is something that the
actors.
campaign
Yeah, exactly, so they set that up, actually, they reached out
make sure that it's
A
there,
and E.
just like making sure
But,
that everything goes well.
Again,
with
that's
the
something that we
rules,
should make sure we do, so that
like
there's
making sure
definitely,
that they know
we
what
need just
not to do
general
and what great
ACW
campaign.
engagement and outreach, which
The
will
last
then
thing is the judicial
raise
committee,
student
like
awareness about
since the
elections.
election period is gonna start, we're gonna get a lot of complaints from student body and other candidates of something that the other candidate did. Last year there were millions of them, it was generally, you
Yeah, a
know,
lot of,
ridiculous.
I feel like a lot of the
I
work
went, I
will
was like,
definitely be,
okay, no. So
like,
this
on
time I'm
social
just making
media,
sure
that's
the
something
EPP
we're
is
trying
as
to
strict as
really
possible, we can
get
a
in.
lot of
That's why we
places,
have-
but I can tell
I
you
made a
there's
bunch
gonna
of,
be some
I made an account
complaints.
on Reddit,
So we're gonna have to
Snapchat, and TikTok,
judicial
so
committee.
we,
I can
again, coming
ask
up with
if
a few ideas about
is
that.
open for everyone, so if you guys wanna
I'm
just like come to
thinking,
the next
like,
meeting
no
on
more than
Monday
a
and see
minute,
how the
because
EPP goes.
we don't have
Or like how the
attention
discussion
spans
goes, that
as
could
we
be a
used to.
good way, or just like
So,
put in any judicial
I think
meeting,
also,
or
like,
just like
condensing
the
down
next
decisions.
one, since we'll be
But,
working very closely
Yeah,
with them.
figuring out how we can
That is
inform
what capital
students
election
about
does.
elections, like especially
So
IRB,
it's just basically
which is,
organizing
like,
like
which
the
we touched
voting
on voting.
period goes smoothly.
Some
The
ACW
complaints
entities, like,
period
we're
goes
collaborating
smoothly,
with
we
them.
make sure that we tell
And I
everyone.
guess reaching out
Let's
to you
not do
guys,
that.
own entity.
You're gonna be,
RSO
yeah, it's
or
gonna be
some other
childish
student
behavior.
groups,
So that is
open
that.
to, like,
Second
working
is
with
ballot
DAC or
solution.
just inviting
I
them
am,
to forums
to
that
be
we're
honest,
trying
very
to
new to
hold
that myself.
that
So I'm still incorporating what we need to do, but it's basically like, we have ballots, which is like versus candidates
And
probably.
you have like
So
questions about
since after
EAC
February-
or like
No,
previous
before
work that
February
we've done.
28th,
Yeah.
we're gonna have people like sign up for like the candidacy, so they're gonna like, if they want
So
to
what
run
do you
or
do in
not.
the meantime?
That's what's gonna happen to make sure they have their financial disclosure forms.
Like
done.
what we do with EAC.
We have candidates.
Yeah,
first.
EAC, like,
Second is ballots, which is
besides
basically
those
they wanna make a
4 weeks
change to the
before.
constitution.
Yeah, okay, so
They introduce a bill and people vote on
voting-
that one as well, include during the election
the
period.
candidate
So just making
candidacy
sure we
filing
have all
deadline
the
is February
organizational
28th,
skills set
so
for
that's
that.
when
We have the
candidates
ballots ready,
can no
we
longer
have
like
that in
file
this,
one. So then
in the voting system in itself.
elections are the
Okay,
25th.
So that's just kind of like a
April
lot of like
28th.
my
So
work is
that
basically
week
making sure
and the
of all
week
the operations of the
leading up to
elections
even
and
spring
the
ballot,
ballots.
so it's great, that's when
So
campaigning
right now it's
candidates
gonna be
actually
pretty
begin.
chill.
So during that period,
No,
that's
that
when
is
a lot
gonna
of
look pretty
work
chill, but as
and the
soon as like
committee
winter
starts
end
to
comes
be
in,
enacted, that's
it's
like,
gonna
because
be
a lot of this
I'll
definitely
be
is
very
planning at the
honest.
moment.
That's
So
what I've been
it's-
told, this one is gonna be a
once-
lot of work.
Once those
It kind of
forms
gets a
happen,
little
that's
bit
when we
fruity,
like
but
do
I'm just gonna make
promotion
sure that it's
detailing
more fun.
our one of our
Even
events
that, because
and
we're still gonna
forums,
work 3
so
or 4
all of
hours
that
per week. Even as
planning
I'm gonna
is during
volunteer,
this
I'm
time,
not gonna
but
make you exceed that.
yeah,
that
that's what
is
the purpose
On
of
me, but I
these
hope you
committee
guys
meetings
enjoy
are.
it, because it can be really fun.
Oh,
If you're not going through it, if you're a candidate, you're traumatized. On the end, I hope it's not that much. Sorry, go ahead.
How
since-
involved are the board of
Since
directors gonna be?
2018, we've defined a
So, like,
well-advertised
Okay,
election as
technically, we should be
5%,
independent, but we're
and we
not.
haven't had,
During the elections, if the board of
we've
directors is
technically never
running,
had that, so I
they
don't know why
cannot be
they
on
put
the AC.
25% there.
I've been told
Because
that,
that's never
during
been
the
achieved.
elections,
But
the
5%
EAC
of
is seen
other
as the
students,
worst
Undergrads
entity,
or all
the worst
students?
people
all
on the
students, because
planet.
technically,
So it's gonna be
graduate
tough for
students
us, but hopefully
So,
we'll be there
last
if you guys
year,
are in the office,
we
but
had
they're not
7%.
like, they do not get
The
that
year
much say
prior, we
until
had
they wanna like
Before-
reject
before
the
that,
thing of
we had
the
people
judicial committee, like.
And it's been off and
If,
down.
judicial
since
committee, like,
COVID,
okay,
which
this person did that, we find out guilty, and they wanna like really reject
That's
that.
why our goal this
They
year is
need,
to
like,
get
I
10%,
think
and outreach is
Two-thirds
12%,
of
but
the board of directors need to
having
vote on it. So
10%
they
will
still
be
don't get that much power, like they really need to be
Was there any?
collaborative to protect this person, but that has never happened. They're pretty okay just passing this EDP
that
to
was
the board
2012,
is gonna be a
we
little
had
bit difficult since it's a little bit more strict and a lot of them want to run this.
Since
next year,
sometime
so
this
Yeah.
70s, we had
It's very bureaucratic, I'm
21%.
being honest,
So
but
it
yeah.
varies and like
Any
obviously
other
for the back
questions?
to our records are more spotty, but again,
no,
generally we're just trying to increase
okay, you
voter
think
turnout,
so,
but
like,
also
it's okay,
we can
I
increase
guess
the
one thing,
quantity of
are
students,
like
but
in-person
focusing
duties, are they almost
also,
always gonna be at the
like
hub?
educating
Yes.
like telling students about what ACW is like, 'cause
if you
you can have
guys
more
wanna,
students vote,
since
but then
we
they're
are
not necessarily
required to
aware
be
of what
but we also
ACW
wanna
does,
table
so
outside
that's
of
where our
ACW,
education,
just
voter
use it
education
itself.
that's coming, those
So we
videos.
would
that
make like a sign up sheet, like, hey,
We'll also
because
need to
table, there's always gonna
inform
be
students
some,
about what ACW is.
it's never
along
all
with
gonna
that.
be like somewhere, I don't know. We're gonna make sure, cause I only come, the only thing I come to on campus is the hall. I'm
Yeah,
not
all
gonna
of
make
our
it
elections
anywhere
are
else,
online.
maybe
I
when
don't
we
know
have
when we
forums
stopped
on ECC or
physical
something,
ballots,
if we
but I'm
have
sure that
like
was when
once
COVID happened.
Yes.
the
But
whole year,
everything has
that's
been
when
online,
maybe if
it's
you're
been-
required to come
we
based on
developed
what
a
committee
new
you are, and like
voting
related to
software
another
and it's
volunteer
on
and
class
like the
evening, so
requirement.
that's like when the
That's
elections
when
start on
maybe
the
we
25th
will
of
come,
April,
but
that's
it's
when
pretty chill.
the link will be up,
Um,
so that's how
Yeah, I think
ACW.
in person, I would recommend like maybe come like
That's the only mean like we are so
once in
dark
2
free.
weeks to the office during one of our office
I don't
hours.
know what
based on
system
who
we
you're
had
working with
previously,
closely.
but it's on there,
Just
so-
like hang out in the office, if you wanna just get some work done there, you can just do that, it's just
Yes.
always like nice to have that.
You-
And if you
do that
sometimes
during your
cannot make
class
the meeting,
registration.
just
It's
let
like
me
one
know.
of those.
And you can attend
Oh,
online,
and
only,
it's totally free.
Caroline is just taking
And
the
yeah,
minutes
that's-
every single time,
So
so
you
she can
think
like,
maybe that's.
I can send you the minutes as well, so
Is
you
it
guys know what's up, but
default
just be sure
selected?
that let me know
No,
if you
it's
get
one
fine.
of those things you have to click,
You'll
but
still
we've
have it
had,
online,
it's
but if
near
you want, just like,
90% of
just let me know
students
and I'll
have
let you know what's
been
happening.
ACW members,
And
and like
what's
it's been
what you have to do.
increasing slightly
Mhm.
every year.
And if you
but
cannot do
I
it,
don't
that
think,
we just
I
let
don't
me
think
know.
being not being an
It's
ACW member
perfectly
is the
okay.
problem, but like there are
It's
definitely
like,
students
I
that
also
like
have
to vote,
interns
but then
and I
they
can
aren't, but
only
then it's not, it's
trust
relatively
your
easy
hours,
to,
it's okay.
Yeah.
again, like register,
Right?
to vote. Oh, register, to become a member.
Is this gonna be the time for like our regular meetings though, Fridays
So
at?
that's again,
For
something
this
that we
quarter.
gotta educate the rest of the
Next, every single quarter, I'm gonna send a run to me, so
Awesome.
everyone can decide that. But the meetings we wanna hold in person, just so
What
that
about,
it's like the 1 week where we sit all
What
of
is
us
some of
together
the?
and like know
some of
what's
the stuff
happening.
that we've
We're
done
gonna
in the
hopefully
past
get the
years?
conference room all the time, where we have tables and stuff, cause this time was like a whole lot of mess.
ACW hasn't really
But
done that,
hopefully
but, technically,
And you're always
I was a
welcome at
candidate
the
last year,
office,
so
you
we
can
did the
like
polling
when
thing
you go
like
to
that,
office
that's
hours, or
what
if you're just thinking if I have any
but
mistakes,
they're
like,
gonna be
hey, can I
quarterly
get the
kind of
office?
polling
I'll let you know
survey,
if I'm at the
a quarterly
office.
survey
Just
that
come
kind of
in, get some
asks
snacks, sit down,
students
chill.
what,
It's a pretty cool place.
like they want ACW to do,
So I just
we
wanna
ask them
get
to
to like have fun
to get
and just.
better understanding, but then we ask them,
And
What's
then
your
what's like
confidence?
attendance
what do
policy
you want
for us
these
on
to
these
focus
Fridays?
on?
Cause I can think of one
And of course
specifically where
development,
I'm
that's
gonna be
where
like out of town.
polling
Yeah.
Do we
survey
just email or?
This is, yeah, like Teams.
we already
meeting
have
on
like a
my
mock-up of
ACW
it,
email.
like, so like a Microsoft
Like, if you
form
decide to
and
get a
stuff,
personal,
so
I don't know if I see it
that's
that
it.
much,
Then
but
we're
if
just
you
like
have
email
actually
out
that was
to
like,
students,
because I'm
go
on
put it
college,
in email,
just
like,
text me
figure out a way to
on
just
Teams,
do
I'll be like, okay, like, if it's like, if you're
That's-
not
that's kind of
attending meetings
amazing.
regularly, then it's a bit of an issue, but like once in a while,
Maybe like you could
there would be
try
a
it.
week where I would have to attend
See
online, because
what-
I would not be there in person. And that is okay, you can attend online, you can
Oh,
just
yeah,
miss
Vernon
one or
Centers.
two, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
but just keep me updated on what you're doing, so that I know that you're still interested in
Because
pursuing that.
something we did
And
last
also one
year
thing that
was
Chloe
we
mentioned is
worked
if
with
you
New York
guys wanna
Times to
take
get
general
games
studies
and cookies
350,
free to
I don't know what
students.
that class is
We purchased,
basically,
like,
but it basically is like internships, so if you
It's over
like
50,000
actively secure an
subscriptions, which
internship,
obviously is more
it's basically for you to
than we
get
actually
credit for
have,
that class.
so
It's like you have to work
I know
3
what it's
hours
like,
per
but
week, so if you wanna
I
get
guess
an
we're
extra
just trying to
credit and wanna take that
prepare.
class,
but
I think
again,
this
like methods like
this
that, like
internship
are trying to
qualifies
incentivize
for
students
if
to
you're
vote.
looking for that.
Obviously
Gen
that's not a
studies
sustainable way to
350, yeah.
have students vote every year,
So I
but
think that qualifies.
again, like
Is
coming up with
Roanoke
ideas
voting
like that is
still-
kind of.
What?
Is Roanoke voting still the process?
I already,
Definitely.
yeah, yes. We can change it, but it needs a lot of resources to do so. Hopefully next year, once we make a goal ourselves, so like right now we have to go to essay, and we have to go to board directors, it's a lot of bureaucratic nonsense. So hopefully by next year we don't have to do that.
Stuff about the student elections that are.
For that gen studies class,
So encourage.
could we do that like winter quarter? you
I think
think?
so. I just let me just check up really quickly.
So pamphlet you get with every purchase.
Also, I really hope you guys come to the
That's
King County
like the
tour.
book that you wanna go there.
And just print out to be
In the
regulated
hub.
so that we are booking cars.
How we can distribute those flyers whenever we do, whenever someone does.
So it's
But that's a great idea,
yes,
because, it's,
Yeah, I think it's something interquarter as well. It's basically taking an internship. And yeah, that's what it is.
What else?
And you get like credits. And it can be taken for 1 to 6 credits, and it's credit no credit cost. What? You can vote 3 hours.
Last year,
that's
like
fine.
previous years, we've had like themes generally.
Yeah,
We're
I
we're
think
trying
so.
to
I'm
formalize that's what
pretty
we
sure.
focus on at the end of the year, so it's kind of like UW kind of based.
I'm like, you
That's
guys
what the
would
theme is
still
for this
need
year as
this.
well.
I know
But
that
we've
some
had
of you, I think you,
we've had a
or a
dinosaur
few
theme.
interns
That's
have
why
been
we used to
approved
have
by the board
a
of
dinosaur
directors
costume
as
in
an
the
ASU
office. So I'm gonna use that at some point.
It is a whole process.
To
Yeah,
get more
that's
students
what
to wear.
I did not know that happened. I just looked at
Um,
that. And I was like,
Yeah, we have a
Cool, I
dinosaur
guess.
costume in the office.
oh,
I forget what year it was, but it was like
you
tell OGR, they will use it. It's our territory. It's
What?
our dinosaur costume.
We have that?
Yeah, it's in the green big Tupperware container. That's
Oh,
what-
also, if you guys ever want to help me decorate the ASUM office, I would totally take your help. I would want to make a Christmas theme.
But we've had
God,
burger
what
games.
That's
It's an
Christmas
interesting
lights.
theme.
You have to tell us what
Um,
it is.
What else?
Okay, that's
Had,
the
like,
tab.
nautical themed. You can see all of them. Like we put the posters up in our office, and hope you guys can come down and see them. But yeah, we had the themes have been very interesting these past
Oh,
years.
gosh,
So
I think.
We should have like a thing that a lot of people know about, so like Star Wars and stuff. That might be
Yeah, you
cool.
guys got approved. So you could be getting.
I think
some
we're
Carolyn.
we're doing themes this year.
With
Oh.
the hiring
Yeah, we're just
bill.
doing
We did it tonight.
all those
Thank you
those
so
are kind of
much.
funny.
She's lovely.
I think just normalizing ACW as like a UW entity now is kind of formalizes it. Doesn't make it so much like- Hey, look at us, we have a lot of
What?
things,
Oh,
but it also shows consistency throughout the year. If we have enough students that like all wear EAC, like it's like if you don't kind of thing, like
I'll
hopefully
let you know. what you got.
4 years from now, it's like also.
Yeah.
Um,
So, and
What, you do like the different people being elected, what are
Kelly
their?
Kay Irving, that's the influence, Ethan Stone,
So what they do.
So you will be getting that.
So, do you guys know the board of directors?
Also, sorry, I'm still on this trend
So
setting
the-
class because I was
The
curious.
board of directors.
What?
3 hours or we 6
executive
hours.
branch essentially of the ACF, so you have.
Sounds like
legislative
6 hours.
I'm
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Elected by the board of directors. You have the president, the vice president, then you have citizens at large.
No, it's not in conflict.
Director of
OCR is basically the Office of Government
which is
Relations.
liaison to the
What they
EAC.
do is
The
basically
director
lobby
of
for our
diversity,
legislative
which is
agenda
about
of
diversity,
ASU, like UW in general, so
Um,
they
the
kind of
joint
work side by
commission
side with us, they do more like
which like
outside
focuses on,
even
like,
their input.
other identity
That's not
episodes.
gonna be I don't think so.
Looking
Okay.
to foster
Let's-
DI and D. That's okay. Director of programming. they're
Okay.
focused on programming.
Okay, sorry, it's 5:50 and I don't wanna keep you guys more than you guys have already been here. So we can like, because I also wanna show you the office, so I think it counts at 6 p.m. So all I'm gonna just ask you guys to do is like send me a picture of yourself that you would want on the ESE website. You can Teams me, just make sure it's on my work Teams, ascwvote.edu, because that's the one I check the most. So the earlier you send it, the earlier it can go up on the website. Okay, awesome. And if you guys have more questions, if not, we can go to the office and have a little bit of a field trip.
You also need a selfie.
Yeah, oh my, yeah, he got a camera. He got a camera.
Okay, well, I'm gonna finish. You have the president, the vice president, the director of university, the director of internal policy, the director of diversity ethics, university affairs, programming, community relations, and camp work. So those are all positions on the board of directors. Now we have the objectives. And
Okay, that's all right.
board,
Yeah,
because there are.
that's all right, that's okay.
So,
I assume, are we kind of like adjourned?
Yes.
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 I'm gonna go to bed.
Yes, thank you so much.
Where's my phone? There it is. Is that my phone over there? On the, oh, yes, it's here. Well, yeah, we do need that selfie, guys. The way we adjourn meetings is by saying, I move to adjourn. So who wants to adjourn the meeting?
Sorry.
We have a move to adjourn by Sid. Are there any seconds? We have seconds. This is non-objectionable. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Nay. The motion carries. Thank you, guys. No one abstains.
Wow.